Hello everyone, it's Melanie here with Vintage Hill Studio. Today, let's get candid with one another. Some days we just go along and craft like nobody's business and we're so happy with the outcome. Other days we can't get past the obstacles, we get stuck. It's crafter's block. With transparency today, I'm going to show you how I made this card and how I overcame some of my own personal obstacles. I used this love die from Momenta and this 4x6 paper pad from Pebbles Ink. And then this was the culprit, this beautiful 3D embossing folder by Gemini. This is a 5x7 folder. It creates this studded leather look. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And my problem was what to do with it. So I started off here with a 5x6.5-inch card base and my embossed mats. I did 2 of them because I was so in love with the outcome of it. I thought they were beautiful, and then I got stuck. So I'm going to just be very truthful with you today as I go through this process. I'm looking at using this love die because I didn't want to cover a lot of that beautiful embossed mat up. So I will flip through my book here quickly. This is kind of some brownish gray colors in here. They go great with this white background. I decided to take this love die and run it through with using some of this patterned paper here. And I'll be using my Sizzix Big Shot, which I use quite often. And I like this little juxtaposition of some busy paper on this plain 3D embossed mat. You can see this comes out lovely here. Now I've been looking at these mats for quite a while. I've had them embossed and sitting on my desk and I didn't know what to do with them. They're bugging me like for months, just sitting there. Does that ever happen to you? You have this beautiful supply and you don't know what to do with it. So I am going to show you all my trial and error here today of what I did, and this was still such a pain in the butt for me. This is part 1 because part 2, next week I'll show you what I did with the other mat. So just hang in there with me. Okay, I'm going to use this kind of a dove gray color here behind my word, and I love these little embossing strips from Park Lane. They've got some different lace options to choose from. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this and see which one would look better behind the word. Okay, I've got that down, so I'm going to take this and run it through my embossing machine. Now you can see I've got the green side underneath. That's another mistake. So throughout this whole crafter's block video, it's one mistake after the other, but I'm just going to roll with it and show you how I deal with it. Okay, so the green actually should be facing up. That will give you your embossed side. It's there to help you if you are smart enough to take note. So you can see I have an embossed there on the other side, which is the white side. So I'm going to have to deal with that mistake. Okay, and I'm kind of looking at this. It's a little shorter than my 5x6.5-inch card base. So I'm going to cut that down all the way to the edges there. And I like the way the love looks on that, but I really like the embossed side better. Of course, I'm back to the white, so now I've just wasted a piece of that like dove gray color. And you can see that's washed out. So now I have to decide how I'm going to fix this. I am telling you, it was obstacle after obstacle. This is just how some days go. So here I'll go back and get another piece of that gray. And I decided to back that, looks better. And then I'm going to take this brownish shade here. And this all coordinates because it's out of the same paper pad, so thank goodness for that because I needed a break somewhere. Okay, I decided just to do this, you know, with the colors showing vertically across the top and the bottom of my embossed little piece here. And that's looking pretty good. So I'll get these put together very quickly, just using my liquid adhesive. Again, I say this over and over, but it does allow me to make minor adjustments, especially when trying to line things up straight. And my grid mat helps quite a bit with that. So you can see I'm just going to get my contrasting colors here with the strips of color on the top and bottom only. I thought that looked best when backing this love. Get this put down, which again was the wrong side that I embossed, but we're going to work with it, right? I'm going to line everything up on the left side, aligning that straight on the left, and then I'll just go over and trim this little right side right off. This is my Fiskars paper trimmer. Now you can see I'm going through a couple of layers there, so I get that done. And now it looks a little bit wonky still on my card. It's just, what am I going to do to deal with this? So I'm downsizing to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base, and I think that will look much better. I won't have that extra space on each side of my little love banner. Okay, so I'll quickly cut down this pain in the butt mat that I'm so in love with. And I'm actually going to cut this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 so it will go edge to edge on my card front. No borders. I don't need any other obstacles with this card making session. Okay, now I'm finally getting somewhere. So see, don't give up, just keep going at it. And eventually it will come together. Now sometimes it doesn't, that's very rare, but usually it will come together if you just hang with it. I'm using my fingers on the front and the back to make sure that's really adhered down well, and I'm not using my little brayer today because I don't want to smush down all my embossing. So here I need to cut this little strip down a little more. Now I'm going through 3 layers, so I have to give it a cut and then flip it over and cut it again. Just making sure, using that little wire as a guide, that I'm right over the cut line. Okay, now here we go. I'm ready to get this put down on the front of my card. Now I'm just kind of looking at it to see if I need a little dimension behind either that strip or the word love. And I decided to go with the word love. I mean, why not go for the most difficult part? So I cut 2 more of the words out using a heavy cardstock, just some scrap that I have laying around. And I'm going to stack these together. When you do this, it gives you more of a chipboard, heavy-duty word to work with, and especially if you're going to use foam tape behind it, you need some strength and stability here. So very quickly getting these words layered up, and you can see it is going to be quite a bit more heavy-duty when I get these all adhered together. Doesn't take that long. Get that done, and then I'm going to bring over some very thin foam tape, or the thinnest that I have. It's not all that thin. And my titanium scissors. And first I'll get this little strip put down, and then I'll work on getting the foam tape put behind my love word. All right. Now the titanium scissors are great. I think I needed to clean off my blades because I use them all the time for foam tape, and they've got a little residue, which of course this is the perfect video to show this because my titanium scissors that I brag on all the time actually stuck to this foam tape. Why not, right? Par for the course. This is all about overcoming obstacles. I'm showing you how to hang in there. All right, so I'll get that down, and then you can see how easy it is to form these little strips of foam tape around the cursive letters in the word love. And I'll get that all done and peel off the backing. And this will be ready to go on the front of my card. I can almost not stand it to get to the finish line. This, like I said, has been sitting on my desk for quite a while, and I was happy to use up these 3D folder embossed mats. And I think that came out rather lovely. No pun intended. I won't say that I love this card, air quotes, because it was such a pain in the butt, but I am glad to get that supply off my desk. So I hope you enjoyed this video today and that maybe you get inspired to hang in there when you get crafter's block. Just let it sit for a little bit and simmer, and something will come to you, and I'm sure you will make something that you really like. And you will be glad to get those supplies off your desk. So that finishes my card for today. I am so glad you dropped by. I thank you for subscribing if you're a current subscriber, and I welcome you to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Happy crafting, everyone, and see you next week.